Hi, it's Wednesday night, the 7th of October, day 281 of my journey to business alignment, and I'm living the dream, and it's fantastic. I hope you're living the dream. The power statement I wrote down for last night, that's my power statement for this morning, said the following. I will do all I can to go and get even more tasks off my master list before I contact Ontraport and start the process of getting the membership system, the forums throughout the website, and the email marketing features all set up and working properly. Once Fahad is back in the saddle, we can get on with launching the website and doing my focus group campaign. You'll understand why I say that. Well, when I went online to see if the tasks I gave to Fahad yesterday were done, when I went on this morning, I saw that they weren't. And so tonight I asked Fahad what was up. And he informed me that his uncle had passed away. And so he couldn't do anything right now. He just wasn't up to it. And so, of course, I'd had him know not to worry about things for now and to let me know how things are going forward. So here's my to-do list that I had for today, right here. The same kind of look. Bam, got them all done. My most important task for today was to continue to focus on my long master list of tasks that still has a lot of tasks on it for me to get done before we can launch the site. And so that's what I focused on. Now, here were some handwritten ones I did as well today. All done. Scratched off. Bam! So exciting. So, my fun task for today was to go in to Fiverr and set up a new job request for someone who has a lot of skills with WordPress so he can do the last three items that we've been struggling, Cody and Fahad and I. I found out that Cody was struggling with the Ask Coach B question plugin and as well as the search system plugin, and so I'm now looking for a new web support guy who can do just those two specific tasks, and they've done it over and over again. That's who I'm looking for. We'll see how things go in terms of their responses that I get, but time's going to tell. My exciting task for today was to go in and fix one of my videos I had already done, which is the Watch This Clip video. I noticed that the logo doesn't open up at the middle of the screen like all the others do that comes on and they come right in the middle. This comes at the top of the site, and so I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be consistent with all the other videos, so I have to fix that. My end of the day success routine questions is get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today? What could you have done better? In other words, what can I do better? What did I do well? And what am I thankful for? Well, did you wake up early and start strong? Yes. Did you start your morning with power? Cold blast of water. Make the bed. Were you productive throughout your day? Lots of pieces, lots of things done. That master list is coming down fast. Did you get the most important things done today? Did you move your goals forward? Pieces through the portal of my mind to the world of the physical. That's what it is about. Accomplishing, accomplishing, accomplishing. Did you show up as the person you wanted to be and how it would best serve you? Absolutely. What about your personal time with your wife, Kathleen? Wonderful evening for a Wednesday. Were you present? Yes, she was present for me. It was a wonderful, loving evening. In summary, I asked myself, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? Did you keep your promises that you made to yourself this morning? Well, since it's Wednesday morning this morning, the middle of the week, I promised myself that I would finish all of my to-do lists so that I can get things ready for Ontraport to come and do their thing, hopefully before the end of this week. But now that the day's over and Fahad is unavailable right now and has been all day and was not even doing it last night, and so I'm having to change up my plans a little bit and look to earlier or middle of next week for speaking with Ontraport. Slowed me down, but life continues on, doesn't it? The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Did you make time for them? And were there any new movies, any instant pre-play movie clips that came onto the screen of your mind today? Well, like every day before today, I watched my Win the Morning, Win the Day must-see TV5 movies. I then reviewed in my mind how I wanted to finish up the week, and so I came up to my office this morning. I had adjusted how my thinking was going to go, and the results now with Fahad being off site for a little bit. So what did I want to focus on? And so I still was able to start strong, readjusting, being flexible, that kind of thing. I want to stay strong, and I'm going to finish tonight strong like I'm doing. My next question says, what's the one thing that would make all the difference going? What one thing can you do better? What one thing can you improve on? Well, the one thing that I know I can do better going forward is what I did today, and that was to be flexible with how things go sometimes. Things happen. Life happens. Fahad couldn't change what happened. These surprises, even very sad ones like this one, happen to us here and there, to all of us. So my approach is to give it the few minutes it deserves. make the adjustments that needs to be made, and then get after it again. And so my power statement for tomorrow says this: I will continue to do all I can to get all the tasks done that are on my master list before I can contact Ontoport to start the process of getting the membership system, the forms, and the email marketing features all set up and working properly. Once Fahad's back in the saddle, we can get on with it, the focus group, and launching the website so it can go live. True. Next is where there are any mistakes or failures that I had today or that I made that I can turn into a tool of success going forward. Well, there wasn't any mistakes, nor was there a failure, but this challenge with Fahad, having to take off time, is a good reminder to all of us and to me of the tool of success called Flexibility Plus. Being willing to be flexible, especially when things come at you out of the blue. In fact, that's how things that require us to be flexible always come, is out of the blue. And we adjust. We are flexible. We go, oh, kind of move and do what the Matrix guy does. Oh, missed that bullet. The next question is, what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? Well, my biggest success today was that I cleaned up a lot of my emails. I got all of them working properly and had to get with some things going down and having to get a whole new modem, that kind of thing. I cleared additional space off my hard drives so that I can save more files. I still have more to do, but I'm getting the job done, and it will be more important for the future. The next step in my end of the day success routine is to rate my day's effort, and so I gave today an 8. Yep, an 8. I gave it an 8 because even though I worked at the speed of 10, because I did, I wasn't able to move the website tasks forward like I would have liked. And so things slowed down in that regard, and therefore effort was high, but results a little below subpar. That's okay. We're moving forward. Still more pieces came through the portal of my mind. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Oh, this is exciting. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says taking control of our actions so that we're consistent with them requires that we control our thoughts. And that power to control our thoughts is the power of decision making. Oh man, the power of decision making comes from being responsible and taking on the responsibility of making those decisions. What do you mean by that, Marty? Well, I call it response-ability. Responsibility. Response, pause, dash, ability. The hyphen between the word response and the word ability is the time we need to take to make our choices. This is where we do our decision making. It's the time and place where everything happens in our lives. And all the things that happen in our lives begin with and began with a decision. In our moments of decision, our destiny is shaped. If you go back 10 years, can you identify a decision you made that if you made a different one than the one you did, it would have made your life radically different, for the better or for the worse? If you've experienced emotions of tragedy and frustration, injustice or hopelessness during the last decade of your life, how did those decisions shape your current life's path? There are 5 areas of life that impact us and the lives we lead. Most importantly, number 1, emotional mastery. Number 2, physical mastery. Number 3, relationship mastery. Number 4, financial mastery. And number 5, time mastery. These principles lead to the next thing I'm grateful for, which is the law of self-mastery, which says there are 3 decisions that we make every moment of our lives, and they control our destiny. These 3 decisions determine what we notice, what we feel, what we'll do, and ultimately what we contribute and who we become. If we don't control these 3 decisions, we simply aren't in control of our lives. When we do control them, we begin to scope our experience and therefore our destiny. The 3 decisions that control our destiny are as follows. 1, our decisions about what we choose to focus on. 2, our decisions about what we choose that things mean to us. And 3, our decisions about what we choose to do about that, which end up creating the results we desire or don't desire. All 3 of these decisions are centered in the thoughts we choose to entertain. It's not what's happening to us now or what has happened to us in our past that determines who we become. Rather, it's our thought decisions about what we choose to focus on, about what the things that what they mean to us, and about what we think we should do about them. Our thoughts, therefore, determine our ultimate destiny. Isn't that fabulous? That is so true. Next, I'm grateful for Henry David Thoreau, who said, I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of a man or a woman to choose to elevate their life by a single conscious endeavor or decision. Too many of us don't make the majority of our decisions consciously, and especially when it comes to these three absolute critical ones. When we just go with the flow of things, we pay a major price. In fact, most people live by what I call the course of least resistance. I believe that most of our life's course is like being in a river, and that most of us jump into the river of life without ever really deciding where we want to end up. In fact, it's likely that whatever challenges we have in our lives right now could have been avoided by some better decisions early on upstream, so to speak. Not like the ones that Fahad's going through, and you know what ones I'm talking about, right? Even now, your brain has already constructed an internal operating system for making decisions. That operating system acts like an invisible force behind the scenes, directing all your thoughts, actions, and feelings, both good and bad, every moment of the day. It controls how you evaluate everything in your life. This operating system is largely driven by our number 2 mind, the subconscious mind. What I just described is your old story, your life's programming, your past programming. The scary thing is that most people never consciously write their story. Instead, it's usually written throughout the years by sources as diverse as parents, peers, teachers, television, advertisers, cell phones, our culture at large. This old story is comprised of 5 components: our core beliefs and unconscious rules. Number 2, our life values. Number 3, our references. Number 4, the habitual questions that we ask reactively. And number 5, the emotional states we experience in each moment. So the question then is, how do we turn things around if we're caught up in the momentum of the raging river, so to speak? Well, we either make a decision to put both oars in the water and start paddling like crazy in a new direction, or we decide to plan ahead. In other words, set a new course for where you're really wanting to go and have a plan or a map so that you can make quality decisions going forward along the way and adjusting where you have to. The synergistic relationship of these 5 elements or components exerts a force that's responsible for prompting us to go or to stop us from taking action, causing us to anticipate or worry about the future, making us feel loved or rejected, and dictating our level of success and happiness. This force determines why we do what we do and why we don't do some things that we know that we need to do. The truth is, by changing even just one of these 5 components, whether it's a core belief or rule, a value, a reference, a question, or an emotional state, we can immediately produce a powerful and measurable change in our lives. This is where we fight the real cause and not just the effects. With this as a foundation, we can learn how to make our master system of decision-making become a tool of success and not a machine of continued failure. This will allow us to make this system of decision-making consistent with our desires, rather than continue to be controlled by our past conditioning, our old story. Knowing that at any moment in time we have the power to override this master system of decision-making, and that we don't have to allow our past programming, our old story, to control our present and future, is a fantastic thought to go to bed on, isn't it? So, think on that. And until we meet again here tomorrow night, where I'll be right back here at my laptop sharing my feelings, my video entry, I wish you all continued success. Good night.